Welcome everybody to our Ur Cuppa podcast. It is season 3, our live episode here in Lola's in the Birches. We have a very special guest. Her name is MammyBanter, Serena Terry. On my right, I have Mrs. Una Mary Leonard.
Hi, everyone.
And on my far left, I've got wee Jem Cassidy.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm not really sure what way this is going to go. We're going to just go with the flow, see how things pan out. We are very, very humbled and welcomed to have Serena here today with us. Support Together is a massive part of our family. And we're all here because of it. And to know that you're here and you're supporting us and you are supporting our cause means so much. We're not going to lie, we are shitting ourselves because this is absolutely major and there's a hell of a lot of eyeballs. Used town maybe could only see 2 rows, Fian, and I can see further than 2 rows down there, I'm going to tell you that. You do lie. But Serena, you're very welcome to Omagh. You're very welcome here to our podcast. And I want you to tell me a wee bit about you. Who is Serena Terry?
That's a well philosophical question. No, but Serena, you now are a mum, right? Because that's where MammyBanter. But before being a mum, who was Serena Terry? What were you like as a teenager?
An absolute Hylian.
A free and single woman.
I was a Hylian.
You're a Hylian.
I was an absolute Hylian. Like, in Derry, like, obviously it's the same as Omagh. There's loads of poverty.
Yeah.
And there's loads of big families.
Yeah.
And I grew up that typical child. Like, there's 9 in my family. There's 7 kids. So it was 5 boys and 2 girls.
There's no TV then.
Fuck's sake. Spot the Catholics.
Did not know what was causing it, no?
No, they didn't. Seriously. But that's what it was, like, genuinely. Like, why the fuck did you not stop? And I always ask my ma that, but then I wouldn't be here, so I'd be all, good woman for writing me dad over and over again. And then it just gets weird, so I stopped talking about it. Know what I mean, Gemma?
Of course, so, yeah.
So we take you back a few years to when you were a wee cuddy.
What age?
I don't know, teenager? 15, 16, 17, when you were up at badness.
Going
through school.
Do you know what? I was up to badness, but I kind of never got caught. I got caught once, and I'll tell you about that later in my set. I was the only kid in our house to actually go to university. And I did. I went to university, but I continued to be a Hylian. And partied a lot. I partied a lot. You fucking...
Taxi for you too, I think.
No, I wasn't a bad teenager. Like, I wasn't a bad Wayne. I partied like everybody else in terms of being a student. I tried to go to John Moores University and it lasted 2 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks. Just ended up hating it and wanting to come home. So I came home then. I went to University of Ulster in Magee. And I was in my 2nd year and then I fell pregnant with my daughter.
Wow.
So what age is your daughter now?
She's 16 in December.
Oh, 16 in December.
Fucking trouble.
Attitude?
Oh, what? Like, Antichrist?
Antichrist. So did you finish off university? Did you continue on when you were pregnant?
Aye. It just worked out timing-wise. Like, over the summer and that, I was able to have her and then go back to university and get my degree.
Who supported you whilst you were doing that?
My mammy.
Oh.
I have one of those mammies that I would be lost without absolute earth
You're
angel.
so lucky to have
Oh, if I didn't have my mammy, like, I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
So what did you qualify in?
Business and marketing.
And did you continue on that then as in a form of employment?
Aye, that was my career then. I continued on and kind of joined the rat race and joined the corporate world and worked my way up to Chief Operations Officer for a software company. And that's where I was when lockdown hit.
So lockdown hit, and you couldn't go to work anymore? Or what did that
I
look like?
couldn't go into the office, so I was working from home. And everybody knows how batshit crazy we all went. And I was working like 50, 60 hours a week, and I ended up working more. I don't know if anybody else has worked from home, but you end up working more. You're not taking that hour for lunch, and you're finishing later. And then I was losing out time, obviously, just trying to tend to the kids. And then I was working in the evenings to try to make up time. And it turned out I was working like 70, 80 hours a week during lockdown. It was like, this is stupid. What am I doing this for?
You had no thanks for it?
None. You're a number. You're a number in any job. And I think lockdown gave me that perspective. Not only lockdown, 6 months before lockdown, I lost 2 of my brothers, 3 months apart. They were twins. And I think when lockdown hit, I was at that, apparently grief doesn't hit its peak until 6 months. And I was at that stage where it was 6 months and lockdown had just hit, so I couldn't go to the gym, I couldn't go see my friends. I was literally stuck in the house. And I gained a lot of perspective from them dying. I'm sure everyone on here has lost somebody close to them. But the one thing I learned from losing them was life's too short. And when lockdown hit then, I was like, why am I working 70 hours a week? For what? At the time, I think it was personal. It was me thinking that's what I had to do. I had to work and I had to climb the corporate ladder and I had to have this title and I had to do this and I had to have a company car. But when it comes to it, like, what the fuck's it all about? Nothing.
Yeah.
You can be replaced tomorrow.
Yep, big time. And you have a son also?
I have a daughter and a son.
And
Gentleman's family.
Yes. Well, they're 2 different dads, so you might call it a different kind of gentleman's family.
Didn't have to tell us that. The people down there didn't know that.
Different kind of gentleman's family.
You still have it. Perfect.
Of half of a gentleman's family.
Half of a gentleman's family.
To 2 different men.
Oh, Serena.
What's wrong with that? That's grand.
So we have some that you've shared with us, Serena, and you've shared it in your socials also, and you talk about you're taking antidepressants,
yep.
And support together means something to you. Can you tell us why that kind of when Caitlin did do that shout out, that you really stopped and goes, I want to know more about this crew?
I think it was your mission. I went on your website straight away. I was all, who's these weirdos fucking publicly shout me out.
Doing all these stupid videos.
Doing all these videos and all.
You're lucky that you came back after one day because I was going to go 364.
Yeah.
I
really
was
was.
going to shame you?
Yeah, the day that you replied, I was like, you know what? If she doesn't come back to me, I'm going to shame her to come back to me.
I got a ring doorbell on my front and back door that day. I was all, who the fuck? Who's these maddos from Omagh?
Not a biddy.
But no, I went on and I was just reading about your mission and then like the testimonials and everything in terms of what you were doing. And it was everything that I wish I had had when I went through postnatal depression. I didn't have any of that, and it was such a long, drawn-out, painful process that could have been easier to even have the podcast. Mm-hmm. To even have that as a resource to actually realise that it wasn't me. I was very much going through the stage of my postnatal presented in physical symptoms. At the start, it was chest pains and headaches. And I was running to the doctors and the hospitals and I was getting ECGs, and no matter what any of these qualified people told me, I was like, no, I'm dying. But it got to the point, like every night I was going to my bed, I didn't think I was going to wake up. I wrote my will. I did all this crazy stuff. I was like creating folders of photographs for my children because I was preemptively had convinced myself that I was going to die, and these doctors were missing it, and they couldn't understand me. And I was like, no, I'm going to fucking die. They're stupid fuckers. I'm going to die. And when I die, I'm going to sue them. I'm going to haunt them. I'm going to haunt them, and then I'm going to get somebody to sue them. But nobody could tell me that it was coming from mental health, and I've since learned that Anxiety and depression can do crazy things. Your mind can do some crazy things with your body in terms of physical symptoms and sensations. And again, I only learned that after the fact.
Yeah.
Well, we call it what, Gemma? The body.
The body keeps a score, and it's them intrusive thoughts that you're having, and they are intrusive thoughts that you can't get past. They seep in and they keep going and going and going, ruminating, and that's what happens. It really does.
It was awful. Like.
So was that with your daughter or your son?
No, that
Serena?
was with my son. I think I was so naive when I had my daughter. I was only 21. I was so naive. I think the younger you have children, I'm not saying you're exempt from it, but she is 8 years older than my son.
Yeah.
And obviously I'd gone through a lot of personal growth in that time.
Yeah.
But I had worked full time. I was travelling. I was over and back to London with work. And I had a lot of regrets about her childhood, to the point where I was like, I wasn't present in her life. And then I think when my son came along, then I was like, I'm going to make up for that.
Okay, you
And be more
overcompensate.
present. And I started to overcompensate. But still tried to work 70 hours a week, and still tried to go to the gym, and still tried to get my figure back and keep the house and look after everybody else. And it just didn't work. It just all started to crumble down around me, to the point then that started panic attacks after panic attack after panic attack. Why the fuck are you clapping for me having a panic attack? It is really, because a lot of us have panic attacks. Oh. I hear you barking, big dog. But they're shit, and I didn't understand them at the time. I didn't understand what they were. Again, it just contributed to me thinking that I was dying.
Yeah.
And that chest pain and the shortness of breath and all that, and lighthead. I was like, this is me on my way out. I have something terminal here.
Yeah.
Complete and utter burnout.
That was that. It was just mental burnout. My body was doing things my mind
Think
couldn't.
about how many balls you were juggling. You're saying there, Jim.
That's what every
family.
woman does.
Yeah.
We
That's-
do. We do too much. So come lockdown, you decided enough's enough. Would that be right? You
It didn't happen like that. I think my husband would have divorced me if I was all, hey, I'm giving up my job in the company car. I'm gonna start a TikTok channel.
I know.
So I kind of played about with it first.
Yeah.
I was doing it while I was working. I was messing about, and my employers
You're doing
fair
the
play to
double
them.
then, were
I was
you?
doing the double. But you don't earn any money from TikTok, like
Yeah.
there's nothing in that sense. But my employers, fair play to them, they were kind of like laughing at the start, and they were like, it's a bit of crack, but it was kind of joke with a jag. Like I was having to have one-to-one performance reviews with people, and then I was standing in my knickers on TikTok with a bottle of wine to my head. So not only was I doing a disservice to my employers and their company, I was kind of doing a disservice to myself professionally. So then I was like, this is something that I'm really enjoying. I feel like I found myself again, but it's not going to pay the mortgage. So I needed a safety net. So I decided to leave my job and set up my own marketing agency. And I secured 2 clients within like 2 hours of putting it up, because I already had like 10,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok. So I kind of utilised that growth, and I thought, you know what, I'll be a consultant, I'll freelance, and that'll be my safety net. And if it doesn't work out, I'll get another job. Nobody's going to take away my degree. Nobody's going to take away my experience. Again, it was that told since my brothers died. It was like, life's too short. Just go and do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. You can go back afterwards. Like when you're a mammy too, you work anywhere for your wins.
That's true.
I didn't need a corporate job. I was like, I will go back and I will work anywhere if this doesn't work out. But I had to end up letting those 2 clients down early, because I genuinely couldn't keep up with the growth then of TikTok and social media. And
So that's MammyBanter. Is that the growth? So MammyBanter. Tell us a little bit about MammyBanter. I'm very intrigued with that. So we've Jimmy and we've Gemma. We all love Jimmy.
everybody loves Jimmy.
I thought
He's a
Jimmy
bad
was
wee
going to
shite.
come tonight.
Hi, people be genuinely disappointed. Like,
You know, when they see
genuinely, I worry for some people at times, like, because like Wayne's, when you see kids and all, they be all, oh, where's Jimmy? And I be all, he's at his granny's at a sleepover. And that's great. Like Santa, you know, to them, Jimmy is real. But then, like, grown men be all, where's Jimmy? I be all, are you fucking insane? It's a filter, you maddo.
This is Ur Cuppa, the Support Together live podcast special, and we couldn't bring the podcast to you today without the help of our podcast sponsors. Alongside our podcast sponsors and promoters, we couldn't have made this event possible without the amazing support of Telesec and JMG Systems. Our friends at Aladdin's Kingdom, Clarity Scanning, Lisa Stevenson, Mind and Body Practitioner, and Ita McAndrews, Women's Wellbeing.
So your script, right? So a lot of people are here tonight for you, right? And that's why it's great that we attracted yourself here, because also it raised awareness for the charity, as you said earlier. So how do you create these wonderful storylines, these humour? Because I'll be honest with you, through lockdown, the MammyBanter sketches, I actually got a lot out of that. Mm-hmm. I got a giggle, which I needed. So tell us a wee bit about that. I know you said it's maybe the way your mind is it?
Some the early stuff was like loosely based on real events that everybody goes through, and then the rest of it is just me being a wee bit mental, to be honest.
Yeah, love it.
Creative, sorry.
Yeah.
That wasn't PC. I'm creative.
So what does everybody want from you? Is it Jimmy? Is the wee sketches of Jimmy and his mummy mostly? Because you've introduced the granny.
Pamela.
And the sister.
Mm-hmm. And the sister, Aoife. She's child-free by choice.
Child-free by choice.
Bitch.
And your husband? The husband?
Paul.
So
yeah.
is that literally rolled in your...
It could go anywhere. It's one of those things. It has to feel right. It can't feel forced. And there's times like you can get too into your own head and overthink stuff, and you don't know if it's going to land, or you're like, right, where do I stop in terms of characters, and how deep does this need to go, and is it always going to be comedy, and could it be something bigger? I think at the time I just have to, it has to amuse me, and it has to make me smile when I'm writing it and then performing it, because otherwise there's no point in doing it. It's just like a hobby. Like, the feedback that I get from people is genuinely like just what you said. It brightens up a dark day, and some of the feedback people gives you, like, it's just crazy. You feel like you've a superpower, being able to sit at home and your nags in front of your phone and make people laugh. It's nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring you back again. You had mentioned something there maybe 10 minutes ago about you wanted to find yourself again. Had you lost yourself whenever you had your children?
Aye, 100%.
And did you find yourself, or did you find a new version of yourself?
I kind of felt like I found the old me. Like, I was always a bit of crack, but becoming a mammy and then obviously joining the corporate world, you feel as if you have to fit a different bill. And as a mammy, you can be fun, but you can't be too mad. You can't be too fun. Like, even making those videos, I was like, straight away, I was like, this is awful on my children. Like, they are going to need counselling. Could you imagine your ma been on social media when you're a teenager? Like, at that time, I was like, this is child abuse. Like, I need to watch what I'm doing here. But I was able to have that conversation with them and be like, do you want Robux? And the same with her, like, Taylor Rummel or Charlotte Tilbury. But I was able to weigh it up, and no, I just felt like I was myself again. It's a job for me. It's definitely a job. Like, even touring, like, that's my only income, and it feels nice to be able to make people laugh for a career, whereas I was literally just fucking doing soul-destroying corporate work.
Making money for somebody else?
100%. And it does, you lose yourself. You feel as if like you're not yourself anymore, and you have to become this responsible adult. I don't know anybody that actually feels like they're an adult, like they're grown up. Like nobody has a clue what the fuck's going on. No. Nobody. And you only realise that as you get older. You're like, nobody knows what's going on or what they do or how they should behave.
We're just winging it.
Every single day.
Winging
It.
Or we're faking it.
Yeah.
You know, baby one's a demo, baby two's a demo. We're trying to just survive sometimes.
And then you've social media, like people been all fucking making banana bread and crocheting their weans fucking nappies and shit, and you're all, how? What?
So when people were doing that, you were becoming very creative and creating these characters and trying to...
I think lockdown was the epiphany for me. I was all, who the fuck has time to make gingerbread men with their weans?
No.
After homeschooling, where they're like...
Then nearly killed them because you're not a teacher.
Oh my God, I was like, this is bullshit, it's not real life. Why are people putting fake shit on social media just to get likes? It's like, it's not real life. Mm-hmm. And that was a big part of it. It was like therapy for me. I was all, it's not real life, we're all fucked. And then people were agreeing and I was all, it's therapy.
Mm-hmm. And is there a backlash to that for you?
To social media?
Is people kind to you? How do you protect you? How do you look after you?
Do you mean like trolls?
Well, so tonight we introduced you as Serena Terry. I think that we're so important that people know who you are, because there's a you behind this character. So do people, how do you protect Serena? We none of us know your children, which I think that's brilliant. And fair play, we don't. And we know there's a girl and a boy. We know their ages, that's about it. And one of them rang you today looking... Could he get what?
Robux.
Because he knew you were busy and he knew you'd say yes.
He does it all the time.
So how do you protect you? Because, yeah, you're right, there's people who would be quite cruel on socials, and how do you...
I think in terms of determining the difference, MammyBanter is a persona. The name, first of all, it's like, do you remember when you made your first Hotmail email address and it was like glitterfairy123xo@hotmail.com? I feel like that about MammyBanter. I be all, why did I fucking pick that name? What the fuck is wrong with me?
Do you not like But you're a mommy having banter.
I know, but now I don't know what it is. It's like that email address thing. I cringe sometimes when I hear it.
But banter is a dairy kind of, isn't it? It's Northern Ireland.
It is.
Sort of.
I think it's more so since I've started getting into the stand-up world. I think for me, credibility is a big thing in trying to kind of progress in stand-up. And I'm in a room full of comedians who are first name, last name, and I'm MammyBanter, what's happening? Do you know what I mean? And there's a credibility thing there, but everybody has a persona. I 100% have a persona. You're not seeing the real me now. I'm not seeing the real yous. Nobody is what they're like. When I go home, I am what they call an introverted extrovert. Mm-hmm. I am boring as fuck. Mm-hmm. I am. People ask me what I'm doing at the weekend, I be all enjoying my mortgage. What about you? I love sitting in the house in my jammies with a bottle of wine, and I think this whole thing of social media and people noticing you and taking pictures and stuff, it's made me quite caged.
Yeah.
I've changed in that sense, and I think that's my mind telling me that I need to protect myself. I used to be really outgoing and not really paranoid about kind of myself, was very much I don't give a shit kind of attitude, but social media and everything that I've done to date has made me feel like I do kind of care about people's opinions at times, and I do care about how I look, and that's because trolls can attack you online and keyboard warriors can come for you and they can talk about your weight and they can say this about your looks, or they can say this or that about your comedy, and it sticks. It does 100% stick, and I feel it changing my personality, whereas at the time I'd be like, I don't care. Everybody cares.
Yeah.
Everybody cares about what other people say about them and think about them. Mm-hmm. And to have that on a scale where it's in the public domain of social media, it hits you. But once I'm in my safe space and just with my family and my close friends, that's when I feel protected.
So you surround yourself with good people? You
I
feel
do.
very cocooned then. Your
100%.
home is where you feel
That's
safe.
my safe space. Like, I don't go out anymore. It has changed me in that sense. You know, that's the
well,
backlash of
yeah.
doing what I do. I don't go out anymore. I can't mind the last time I was in a bar.
That's sad though.
It's shit. It's shit. Like, there's times I've had wee Jimmy at the park, and there's kids taking pictures of me and him. And there was a time I was in McDonald's, and I was with my youngest son again, and my daughter texts me, and she goes, "A wee girl in my class is only after putting this up on Snapchat," and it was a picture of me like fucking motorboating a Big Mac.
You can do nothing then.
Like, I didn't know anybody was taking a picture of me. And that's on a smaller scale. And it's because younger people don't realise, they genuinely think anybody on TikTok with a blue check is some kind of special. They don't realise, but it changes you. I get so protective over my kids now. And when I take them out, I make sure nobody's bullying my daughter in school and my son as well. It's like, I don't want people to know who they are. I don't want people taking pictures of them. They didn't decide to go on social media. I did. I would never, ever put them out there in the public domain. So anything that affects them, again, makes me more protective. So that's the backlash. That's the downside of it. I think I had a midlife crisis or something, right? I ordered this dress during the week. I was all, it'll be lovely, it'll be class, but it's one of them ones, keeps coming down, right? So I'm just going to take it down. I'm just going to take it down. I don't care. I don't care. How were the toilets, ladies? Were they all right? Meet any new best friends you'll never see again in your life? Isn't that the best part of a night out? Meeting all these new best friends. Where's all the 3 men? Stop pretending to drink your pint. How were the toilets? There's only about 5 years in there. It must have been brilliant. You haven't been yet? All right, what about you, sir? You were at the toilets, were they okay? Yes. Yeah, that's what I was waiting to hear. That's what I was waiting to hear. Girls, if you said half a fucking brain, you should have went straight under the men's. What's the etiquette, men's? Like, you're not going to see a best friend you'll never meet again? Far toilet? Stay away from the woman. But, like, what's the etiquette genuinely? Like, do you look at anybody's penis? Like, no. But what if you can't? What if the toilets are packed and there's a man here and a man there? I just want to know, what's the etiquette? Do you look? No? You wait till somebody leaves? What'd you say? You said you wait as well? I don't know what this says about me. Hey? Sir, I've seen about 14 men in the last 3 months out of 20,000 people. And some of them have said that they have a wee peek. I would look. I would. See, if I was really well endowed, I'd do like an over-exaggerated shake. I'd be waving to people and all. First thing I'd do if I had a penis is the helicopter. I would, or that thing. That's the first thing I would do. I swear to God. Like, again, I don't know what it says about me psychologically, right? But I've always been, like, fascinated by the etiquette for men. Like, you have to pee with the most intimate part of your body out in front of everybody. Like, would that work for women? With no, like, cubicle, no walls, no doors. Like, not only do we befriend strangers, but we get into some serious, deep and meaningful conversations. And also, we can't hold on our farts when we pee. I dare one of you to challenge me in that. It's scientifically impossible. We can't hold on our farts when we pee. Like, we're black belts, we're fucking ninjas at holding on our farts. But see, if there's a fart there when we have to pee, it's fucking coming out. And there's times we don't even know there's one there. Like, it could be one from the chemist earlier on that we were holding in, and it's just been sitting in a queue. Like, you were number 1 in line. And it's just coming out. It's coming out. So we need like our cubicles, we need our walls, and we need our doors. And it's just men are just more confident and comfortable. We like talking about like toilet stuff, like farts and shit. Like my husband loves his own fart. Like he's the type to lift his leg and all. You know, all that, tries to cupcake me.
Okay, girls, that's end of part 1.
This is Ur Cuppa, the Support Together live podcast special, and we couldn't bring the podcast to you today without the help of our podcast sponsors. Alongside our podcast sponsors Supreme Motors, we couldn't have made this event possible without the amazing support of Telestack and JMG Systems. Our friends at Aladdin's Kingdom, Clarity Scanning, Lisa Stevenson, Mind and Body Practitioner, and Ita McAndrews, Women's Wellbeing.
And produced by 9874 Creative.